It would be like my healing chapter. A lot of wounds are being closed and aided at this point, and the wounds are being nurtured as well and closed up for good. So I think for me, this is my chapter of healing. And
the room was full of flashing lights, loud applause, and the energy of celebration, but something was missing. Or rather, someone. As Teyana Taylor walked down that carpet, looking absolutely stunning in her custom gown, there was a shadow trailing behind her smile. Everyone noticed. Her presence was strong, yes. But her eyes? They were scanning the crowd, almost like she was still expecting someone to walk in. Someone who promised to be there. Someone who didn't show up. And just like that, fans knew Aaron Pierre had skipped Teyana's big night. Again, the whispers started before the event even kicked off. People were already asking where Aaron was, especially since he and Teyana had been seen together just a week before, hand in hand, looking like the perfect couple. But this night wasn't just any other appearance. This night was supposed to be monumental for Teyana. It was her moment, an honor that had been years in the making. She had worked tirelessly for this, pouring her heart into every project that led to this stage. And when the lights hit her, she stood tall. But something about the way she held herself felt forced. Like she was trying to smile through the sting of being left alone. What made it all worse was how vocal Teyana had been leading up to this night. In her interviews, she glowed when she talked about Aaron. She said he made her feel seen. That he supported her like no one else had. And she even laughed about how he couldn't wait to see her shut it down on the carpet. So when he wasn't there, it wasn't just a silent absence, it was a loud, public disappointment. Fans started commenting right away. Why would he miss this? She deserves someone who shows up. Not a good look, Aaron. And then came the excuse. According to sources close to Aaron, he was tied up on set, filming something overseas. They said the schedule changed last minute and he just couldn't make it work. But fans? They weren't buying it. Because just hours before the event, a photo surfaced of Aaron laughing it up at a networking brunch in Los Angeles. Not overseas. Not on set. He was right there, just not with her. It didn't add up. People started piecing it together. Going full detective mode. The brunch was a casual industry thing. Nothing mandatory. Nothing major. So why choose that over Teyana's big night? Some people tried to defend him. Said maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe he didn't know how much it meant. But that didn't sit right. Because if there's one thing everyone knows about Teyana, it's that when something matters to her, she says it out loud. And she had made it clear, this event was important. Not just professionally, but emotionally. It was a milestone. A moment to be celebrated not just with fans and peers, but with the people who claimed to love her. And yet, Aaron wasn't there. The footage from the event told its own story. Teyana looked gorgeous, there's no denying that. But there were these little moments, the way her smile faded between poses, the way her eyes kept shifting like she was searching the crowd. One reporter even mentioned that she seemed distracted. And later that night, a source who was at the event claimed she had asked someone if Aaron had arrived yet, more than once. That broke people's hearts. Because it wasn't just that he didn't show up. It's that she was still hoping. Still holding on to the idea that maybe, just maybe, he would walk in last minute and surprise her. And here's the thing. This wasn't the first time. Fans started digging up moments when Aaron had been absent before. He missed a launch party Teyana hosted a few months back. He wasn't seen at her daughter's recital, even though Teyana had posted about how proud she was. And during one of her most personal music video drops, he didn't even post a story. Nothing. Just silence. It was starting to become a pattern. A quiet one, but one that fans couldn't ignore anymore. what really hit people was the idea that Aaron might be choosing his career over their relationship. It's not a crime, obviously, people have dreams, ambitions. But when someone consistently fails to show up for your big moments, it starts to feel like a message. Like they're saying, without words, that your world isn't as important to them as theirs is to you. And that's the kind of imbalance that doesn't just hurt, it chips away at trust, especially when Aaron's star is rising fast. He's got major roles, red carpet moments, and press attention. Everyone's talking about him. And while that's great for his career, people are starting to wonder if success is clouding his judgment. Because when someone is climbing that fast, sometimes they forget who helped lift them up in the first place. And Teyana? She's been nothing but supportive. Always clapping for him, always speaking highly of him. So where's that same energy? In return, then, there were the social media signs. Fans noticed that shortly after the event, Teyana posted a black and white selfie. The caption? "Not everything that shines is gold." It hit like a gut punch. People read between the lines. Immediately. Was she talking about Aaron? About how things look perfect from the outside but feel empty inside? It didn't stop there. For a brief moment, she unfollowed Aaron. Then followed him back. And just like that, people knew something was going on behind the scenes. Photos of them together started disappearing from her grid. Not all at once. Just a few here and there. But it was enough. Enough to raise eyebrows. Enough to make people whisper that maybe, just maybe, things weren't as solid as they looked. One tweet went viral that said, "She's deleting memories he never even showed up for." And honestly, that line stuck with people on Twitter. The debate exploded. Some fans came to Aaron's defense. Said he's young, his career is demanding, and maybe he's just figuring it out. But others weren't so forgiving. "You make time for what you value," one person tweeted. "Teyana never misses his stuff. Why is he always missing hers?" Hashtag Teyana deserves better started trending. And the internet wasn't just mad, they were disappointed, and then came the inside scoop. A stylist who worked the event claimed that Teyana was told just hours before it started that Aaron wouldn't make it. Not days before. Not enough time to prepare. Just hours. Imagine getting ready, doing your hair and makeup, rehearsing your speech, thinking your person is going to walk through that door, and then they don't. And worse. They don't even call you themselves. Just a message passed through someone else. That's not just disrespectful. That's hurtful. Another source, someone who said they overheard a private conversation, claimed that Teyana said something heartbreaking. That she was tired of being second place to a script. That one line echoed through social media. Fans were stunned. Because it wasn't about this one event, it was about all the times she showed up alone, clapped alone, smiled alone. When the cameras finally turned on and the moment arrived, Teyana didn't crack. She walked onto the stage with a calm determination that surprised many. There was no dramatic outburst, no tearful confession, just a woman standing tall, carrying the weight of everything she'd been through. She spoke with grace and quiet strength, thanking her team, her family, and her fans for their unwavering support. Not once did she mention Aaron's name. Yet, as she neared the end of her speech, her voice softened, and her eyes grew glassy. It was the slightest tremble, a barely visible fight to hold back tears, but it spoke volumes. That moment revealed what so many had suspected all along. This wasn't simply about missing a party or a public disagreement. It was about feeling isolated in a relationship where love and support should have been unconditional. The contrast couldn't have been sharper. Later that evening, while the world was still buzzing over Teyana's heartfelt words, Aaron posted something of his own, but it wasn't about her, or her triumph, or even the event itself. Instead, his post showed him sitting casually at a dinner table, surrounded by fellow actors and industry folks. He was smiling, looking relaxed, almost carefree. The caption was vague and artsy, the kind that felt deliberately distant. Fans quickly took notice, and their reaction was swift and harsh. Many called it tone-deaf, accusing him of being cold and disconnected. It felt like he was living in an entirely different world, a world where Teyana's pain, her courage, and her struggle were invisible. Where she stood alone, battling heartbreak in front of millions, he seemed detached, as if unaware or unwilling to acknowledge the fracture between them. That evening painted a powerful picture, two people sharing the same space, but living in completely separate realities. And maybe the most painful part of all? The whispers started growing louder. People began saying this might really be it, that Teyana was finally done. Rumors surfaced that she had packed up some of her belongings from the home she shared with Aaron. That she was staying somewhere else, at least for a while, trying to find space away from the chaos. A close friend, speaking on the condition of anonymity, reportedly said, "She's done clapping for people who won't clap for her." Those words hit like a hammer, and once they made their way onto blogs and social media, fans understood this was far deeper than a simple argument or a rough patch. Teyana herself didn't say much publicly. But that night, she shared one last thing on her Instagram story, a quote, short and poetic, but heavy with meaning. "Some things break you. Some things build you. And some teach you who was never with you at all." That line wasn't just a lyric or a pretty phrase. It was raw, unfiltered truth. It was a silent confession, a way of saying that she had been betrayed, disappointed, and left to pick up the pieces. But it was also a statement of strength, a recognition that sometimes, pain teaches us more than happiness ever could. Fans saw that post and stopped scrolling. They knew that this wasn't just another dramatic caption, it was a clue. A first public sign that this chapter with Aaron might be drawing to a close. And whether that meant heartbreak or healing, they were ready to stand by her, ready to see her rise again. That it's easy to get caught up in the glitz, the fashion, the fame. But behind all of that are real people. With real emotions. And when someone you love doesn't show up, especially on your most important night, it's not just disappointing. It's unforgettable. And right now, Teyana Taylor is reminding all of us what it looks like to walk through pain with your head held high. Because even though Aaron wasn't there, she still shined.